Welcome to this episode of Texan on Tour. In this episode, we're in Beaumont, Texas. Join us as we study up on a sprawling bed and breakfast tucked away in the woods and operated by two authors and conveniently named the Book Nook Inn. Afterwards, we're off to find out where Texans get all of our great rubs for our grub and work the production line at the Tex Joy Seasoning Factory before we take a bite out of some spicy slices at Crown Pizza. From there, we try to avoid being bitten ourselves by some Beaumont natives at the world-renowned Gator Country. And finally, we close the night out at a hoppin' little jazz joint famous for putting the swing back in fine dining. All in this episode of Texan on Tour. Howdy, y'all. I'm Matt Miller. I spent my life on the open road, meeting, eating, and defeating the 9-to-5s with the good folk I came across. So come on the road with me as we hit the next stop on this episode of Texan on Tour.
Phil filling in for Matt on this narration, for in this segment we require a certain level of je ne sais quoi. Our tour today finds us at the Book Nook Inn in Lumberton, just outside of our destination, Beaumont, Texas. The Book Nook Inn is an extravagant yet quaint little bed and breakfast nestled among the trees and offering that touch of home required by the discerning traveler, such as our Texan on Tour, perhaps. After a satisfying rest in luxurious accommodations, our traveler awakes without a care, knowing that a delicious breakfast awaits him. Now that is a relief. Ready to explore Beaumont for its hidden treasures, our now fully clothed and shod host and Texan on Tour, Mr. Matthew Miller, makes sure to collect all the proper TV show host accoutrements, and then abruptly emerges and begins the long and arduous journey down a seemingly endless flight of stairs from his bedroom to breakfast, where he'll meet with the proprietors of the Book Nook Inn, authors, entrepreneurs, cooks, and committed carpenters, Dave and Stacy Hearn.
Phil, what are you doing, dude?
Warming,
Why are you talking like that?
I was warming up the mic. It's all yours.
Thanks, bro. Hey, and with that, I went and got me something to eat. You know, while I chit-chat. I sat down with owners Dave and Stacy Hearn while they told me a bit about the Book Nook Inn.
So this is a really neat place. How'd you conjure this?
First, we just planned this house just for our family. And then Lindsay decided to get married and left us. And so we had this big, huge house that we decided, or she decided that we wanted to make a bed and breakfast and sort of all. So then we added some more to it, and this is where we are now.
Cool.
So
I suppose that's the story.
Oh, well, here, let's hear yours.
We kind of thought about doing the bed and breakfast from the very beginning when we started building. We talked about it, but we had to get our kids out of the house. It was just too hard with them going to school and everything. But yes, Lindsay went off to college, and that was when we decided to actually open and make a go at it and see if it would work. Kind of felt the area really needed something because there's not anything else around.
There isn't too many bed and breakfasts. There's none like in Beaumont.
Yeah, none.
and
We wanted to try it and see if it would work, and it has worked beyond every imagination I could have, because I've never thought it would work like this, but we're busy all the time.
And how many rooms total?
We have 5 for the bed and breakfast, and various
You got
game
pool,
room.
game rooms, media rooms.
yeah, we have I think 17 rooms altogether.
Wow.
In the entire place.
Yeah, the entire place. Yeah.
And so you two actually, your labor of love. You put hammer, nail, screws.
Absolutely.
It looks like ideas. Like you guys just rolling with it. You
Yeah,
just
that's
add it
totally
on,
David.
add it on.
Yeah, the actual U shape was in the original plan that I
Right.
made up, and we actually.
We knew we wanted the pool kind of in the center of everything, so that was kind of where we started.
But then she decided she wanted to do these events, and so she demanded that we build an event room and in that tower. So So
The tower's cool. I enjoyed the tower.
so
You're such a storyteller.
so we built the North Tower.
You married a writer.
I married a writer. I did.
So, anyways, and then that's worked out really great because we have, in fact, had so many different events, and it's sort of fun too for ourselves because when we have a New Year's Day event just for the family and the people who are staying here, we got this big room where we can do it in.
Yeah.
So.
But you're not just a B&B. You do other things, right?
Right. We do events. We do weddings. We do all kinds of parties, and yeah, we did 27 weddings last year.
Wow.
And have our calendar full coming up this year, so
we gotta
rocking and rolling.
We gotta stay open for a little while longer.
Yeah, a little while longer. Well, you can definitely tell that you guys you take a lot of pride in it, and it's awesome. We just had an awesome set. So.
Well, I'm so glad. So glad.
And so anybody can just find you by looking up you can just Google Book Nook Inn Beaumont.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that wraps up the first chapter of our show. Stick around. We got a lot of Beaumont headed your way when we return. Ready for a fun Texas fact? Beaumont is the home of the original world's largest working fire hydrant. The giant fire hydrant was donated to the city of Beaumont by the Walt Disney Company in March of 1999 for the re-release of the animated movie 101 Dalmatians and is housed outside the Fire Museum of Texas. The giant fire hydrant weighs 4,500 pounds and can blast 1,500 gallons of water a minute. We asked the boys at the Fire Museum what size fire the hydrant couldn't handle, and they just responded with, "We ain't found one yet." It's a lot of water.
I got denied, but my claim was legit.
You need to hire Dick.
Now I'm out of money. I think I'll be sick.
You need to hire Dick. Would someone please help? This is bullspit. You need to hire Dick. You should hire me, Eric Dick, to hound them and pound them, to get you what you deserve. The insurance company's gonna have a lawyer. You should too. Call me right away at 833-7-RIGHTS.
Don't delay. Call the Dick Law Firm right now. The search for coffee and spices has taken mankind around the world as far as east is from west. But 96 years ago in Beaumont, Texas, a little coffee company started out that later blossomed into an iconic Texas brand, TexJoy. Let's go get our flavor on. TexJoy Seasoning is an offshoot of the Texas Coffee Company. Formed nearly a century ago by Texan Sicilians, it's now a thriving family-owned spice company known for the most savory seasoning of Southeast Texas. From Rooster Booster to Butt Tickler, they've got more kick than you can shake a stick at. I met with President of TexJoy, Joseph Fertitta, to get the scoop. Well, Joseph, thank you for having us.
Well, thank you, Matthew.
Taste of Texas, I guess, is TexJoy, right?
Well, it's the joy of Texas. And, it's the Texas Coffee Company, but it's TexJoy.
Well, tell me about how you guys got started. I mean, this is an old company, huh?
Yes, this company is going on 96 years old. My grandfather started it. He was a grocer, which a lot of Sicilians were grocers in Beaumont, Texas. And he roasted coffee on the side in a little shack behind his store. And so he started selling more coffee than pork and beans. And so he said, well, I guess he thought I got something here. And so he started roasting coffee. So coffee was the mainstay for several years. And then as he grew, he said, what else can I do to increase revenue? And he decided to get into the spice business. Started out with just black pepper. Black pepper, and then it went from black pepper to red pepper to garlic powder and just your basics. That pretty much that's the way it was in the early 20s.
Sure.
And as the spice business grew, they expanded, and it was my grandfather and two partners, and they had two trucks. They had a Beaumont Territory and a Territory in Port Arthur, and the company grew. As the company grew, the fleet grew, the employees grew, and so 96 years later, here we are, spreading the joy of TexJoy.
Cool. Now, I thought my tour of TexJoy was over, but oh no, Joseph was about to spice things up with a tasty little surprise.
Matt, when you said you were going to come down here, and it was a Saturday, and we brought our crew in to get them to work, did they tell you that you had to work also? So, I mean, break time's over, and we got to get back to work.
So old Joe fitted you-know-who with a hat and gloves, and I got to work. Loading the spice, loading the bottles, loading the contents into the bottles, screwing the lids onto the loaded bottles, stickering the loaded and lidded bottles, casing the loaded, lidded, stickered bottles, shrink wrapping the loaded, lidded, stickered, encased bottles, finally inspecting the loaded, lidded, stickered, cased, shrink-wrapped bottles before palletizing the loaded, lidded, stickered, cased, shrink-wrapped, and inspected bottles. And voila, my job here was complete. Now, time to get a lid and get loaded. Or go on break and think about what I want for lunch.
Now, originally when we came to Beaumont, we were going to visit Willie Burger because, well, it's a Beaumont legend. But when I found out from Angie McClellan, the owner of Willie Burger, that she also owned Crown Pizza and that it was right next door, I thought, well, this is a no-brainer. Let's get us some pizza pie at Crown Pizza.
Crown Pizza takes the idea of pizza so far out of the box that it comes full circle by tossing them, garnishing them, cooking them, and bringing them to your table, all inside of, well, a box. I sat down with owner Angie McClellan to get the skinny and sample a slice of her prominent pies.
Now, I expect pizza to come in a box. I don't really expect the place, the actual restaurant, to be in a box. What is going on in your head?
The truth of the matter is my husband decided that it would be a really cool idea to build a pizza joint out of shipping containers. And at first, I might say I was a little skeptical, but then he stayed on point, and Crown Pizza was born.
Wow. Well, what makes you guys have some things on the menu, that menu is nuts. It's awesome, but it's nuts.
So travel is awesome. And you know, we live here in Beaumont, and we felt like we needed to do something that was non-commercial, non-conventional. We travel so much, and wanted people to really be able to experience some cool flavors that are a little out of the box, and came up with some interesting pizzas.
With that, Angie had the staff at Crown bring us two of her favorites. The first, a bacon marmalade, goat cheese, and arugula pizza.
So there you go. That is Crown Pizza's BLT.
Yum. That's crazy.
And the other, a cream cheese and chives boudin covered pie with a side of homemade jalapeno ranch.
What is this called?
This is Boogie on the Bayou.
Is that boudin?
We put boudin on a pizza with spicy cream cheese and mozzarella. We finish it off with some chives.
That is my new favorite. Oh my God. That is my new favorite pizza. I'm just taking this whole thing. Whoa, that is some of the best pizza I've ever had. Stick around. We got more Texan on Tour after the break.
Now let's play a little whodunit. The Big Bopper, aka Giles Perry Richardson Jr., or JP for short, grew up in Beaumont, Texas, and graduated from Beaumont High School in 1947. He's best known for the song Chantilly Lace. He died in a plane crash that killed rockers Buddy Holly and Richie Valens, and the Big Bopper himself is buried in Beaumont. So, who lost the coin toss so that Richie Valens had a seat on the plane? Was it A, Tommy Alsop, B, Waylon Jennings, or C, Frankie Sardo? The answer when we return.
It's a new year, and if you have damage to your home, your New Year's resolution should be for your home insurance company to pay you every penny you deserve. Hi, I'm Eric Dick, a home insurance lawyer. Do you have fire damage, water damage, storm damage? Better get Dick. Call me right now at 832-LAWYERS. Don't delay. Call or text me right now at 832-LAWYERS.
Call lawyer Eric Dick at 832-LAWYERS right now. So, Who lost the coin toss so that Richie Valens had a seat on the ill-fated plane? Well, this is actually a trick question. While most people would answer Waylon Jennings begrudgingly but voluntarily gave his seat to the Big Bopper, who was feeling ill and didn't want to ride on the cold bus that day. It was actually, though, Tommy Alsop who flipped a coin, thus losing his seat to Richie Valens. Or maybe rather winning would be a better way to look at it. So the correct answer is A, Tom Alsop. A bonus fact you might enjoy, our field audio engineer, co-editor and writer for Texan on Tour, Phil Morell's grandfather was Tommy Tompkins, who played bass for the Big Bopper in his first band at Lamar University. Huh, small world.
Well, we've got a lot of daylight left here in Beaumont, and that's why we're here at Gator Country to meet the star of CMT's Gator 911, Gary Sarich, and to get a little education about alligators. But don't worry about getting eaten. I'm the only one that does any eating on this show. Arr.
Now, I may be a big eater, but even my jaws don't match the power of nature's most ferocious chomping champion, the American alligator. And you can find a bunch of them at Gator Country. I met up with the legendary gator guru himself, Gary Sarich, as he regaled the story of how he got wrestled into this potentially lethal livelihood.
So, Gary, what possesses someone to want to play with gators?
I was born in Texas. My mother's part of the family was from up in Monroe, Louisiana. And of course, we had alligators in the backyard. We had them in the bayous, everywhere. And I was fascinated by them. And for a while, I was scared of them, like really scared of them. But as I grew up, I really got into it. And one of the ways I got into it was by hunting alligators during hunting season.
Sure.
Well, they hung the line out, and the alligator got it, then you'd pull it up and shoot them. I mean, that was literally unsportsmanlike. They should have thrown the flag on that, man. It wasn't cool. What I did was I opened up like a boat tour out in the bayou, and I'd catch them for people. I'd jump off in the bayou and catch them, tape them up, and let them hold them, And the fascination was incredible. Over anything I could show them in the bayou, it was all about an alligator.
Yeah.
Well, my wife and I found this place back in '05. This was an abandoned alligator farm. It got abandoned in 1998. The guy got in some trouble with Parks and Wildlife, for whatever reason. Put a lock on the front gate and left 1,100 alligators here. But anyway, that's kind of how the fascination happened.
Okay.
We went from hunting them to bayou tours, and then we found the old abandoned alligator farm, and we took it over to what it is today.
Cool. Well, show us around.
With that, Gary showed us what they look like when these critters come into the world.
Cute. This is when they're cute.
Right. I tell everybody, if they stayed that size, everybody would have one.
And then what they look like as they get bigger.
That guy's 2.
Yep. That's about a natural 2 years old. Yep.
Wow.
And what they look like when they get even bigger.
This is Spooner. He's cool, man.
What's up, buddy? Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
A little over 4 foot. So kiss the alligator, man.
Oh.
No, you gotta kiss him on the nose, man. You gotta Trust me.
All right.
Trust me. That's trust right there. He's
Gary also introduced us to one little lady that stole his heart.
This little alligator we got probably close to a year ago. When I got her, she was so thin and emaciated. To be honest with you, I was gonna shoot her. It was that terrible. We brought this little animal back, put her in here, and 3 days later she started feeding, and feeding really good. So now today, a year later, this animal is completely healthy, other than missing her top jaw. Now, could she survive in the wild? No way. She couldn't catch prey. Well, Texas A&M came, and what they're gonna do is build her a prosthetic jaw.
Wow.
Yeah, so she'll actually look a little more like a real alligator anyway. It's a struggle for her, but one I can say that every time I look at her is that animal defines what Gator Country does better than anything.
And finally, we got to meet all the other wonderful wildlife he houses, from caimans to chameleons, snakes to snapping turtles, and everything in between. As for the gargantuan gators, though, well, you're going to have to visit Gator Country for yourself.
Getting the shaft from your home insurance company? Better get Dick.
Time to learn a little Texas sports trivia. Babe Zaharias, affectionately known as the world's greatest woman athlete, was a Beaumont native and U.S. Olympian at the 1932 Summer Olympics, where she won 2 gold medals in track and field. She went on to become co-founder of the Ladies Professional Golf Association with 10 LPGA major championships. Beaumont houses an elaborate museum dedicated to her, which is located in the Visitor Center and open and free to the public year-round.
So we've unearthed quite a few hidden treasures here in Beaumont today, but we still got one more to go, and that is Suga's Deep South, Southern Cuisine, and Jazz Bar.
Sugar's Deep is the epitome of everything Southern that can be considered both sumptuous and scrumptious. Housed in a 100-year-old brothel building, this restaurant and jazz lounge is one of the finest dining experiences you'll find in the Southeast Texas I-10 Louisiana corridor. I sat down with owners Dr. Heiner and his lovely partner for life, Rosalind, to take some jazz notes and get the gravy on this Southern fried diamond.
Dr. Heiner, Rosalind, thank you so much for having us.
You're welcome.
This place is cool. This is my speed right here.
Well, that's great.
Who got you into this?
Well, I guess my biggest passion can look at me. I really like to eat, right? And when we did, Sugars, we really actually wanted to do something that was, something nice actually in Beaumont. And I like Southern food, and with my background, I thought this would be something actually great. And so with Sugars, we decided to choose Southern, something that was pretty diverse, because you look at Southern food, it ranges from Washington, D.C. all the way down to Texas. So you have low country, from the Carolinas, then you have a little Caribbean from Florida, then you have deep South, from Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama.
So you just went around, so this is what I like, this is what I like here.
Yeah, right, that's exactly.
Now tell me the history of this. You got a history with this building.
Yeah, but we've been open for 11 years, and we have a pretty eclectic background. We've been everything from a brothel to a barber shop, but definitely the red light district back in the 50s.
In its heyday, huh?
Yeah, back in the heyday. We always say if only the walls could speak.
But it's cleaned up a lot now. Now we're legal.
I can clean it up.
Right.
But
We clean up well, huh?
and this is incredible.
Chef Panetti outdid himself tonight.
That ain't no lie. You'll be hard-pressed to beat the food and atmosphere at Sugar's Deep. Unfortunately, we'd come to the end of our Beaumont excursion, and it was time for me to go ahead and sign off.
Well, that's it for this episode. Now remember, TOT doesn't just stand for Texan on Tour. It also serves as a reminder to keep troops, officers of the law, and truckers in your thoughts and prayers. Why? Well, it's pretty simple, because troops, officers of the law, well, they keep America safe while the truckers deliver the goods that keep us going. That's it for this episode of Texan on Tour. Adios, amigos. Cheers. This is awesome.
He's stuck on you, man.
Stuck on you. I got a feeling down deep in my soul.
Right there.
Tell me you got that, because it's not happening again. Suga!
That's a wrap. That's a wrap.